So hello and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live from the Full Speed Event Studios once again for the Donny Chaingang co-production between Russ Downing of Downing Cycling and myself and the team here at Full Speed Events. It's been a really busy week. If you've not been with us on Wednesday, you might not be aware we have travelled from the southwest of France right the way up back into Sheffield. We're back here and we're all ready to go. We had a cracking ride last night on the Wow Chaingang. It was an absolutely tough course out and around Richmond, a course that Russ has used regularly on the Chaingang. Now, this month, as you'll see, we are now moving over. A massive thank you to Gritty, who looked after us all the way through November and looked after us with giveaways and, of course, that 20% discount that continues all the way through the season for members of the DCG gang. This time round, well, we are going to be looked after by OTE, and they are looking after us throughout December, and we've got a fantastic 30% discount for members of the DCG gang. So if you remember, you can take 30% discount, and that then means that you can save on all those key products like recovery, like hydro tabs, etc. Whether you're indoors or out, it's going to make a big difference. Now, let's get on to tonight's ride. We are heading to Rolling Highlands. The route is a pretty tough one because it is 4 laps, and we have 5.1k to the start-finish point. So we actually head out of town, out of the pens, and the finish point actually within the breakaway Bray and the breakaway Bray Arch. At the finish point will be at about 41.1 kilometres. We then ride to the warm down to the Blue Banner, and that is where then we will finish the ride itself. But the finish line for the ride, the key part that our riders need to know, 41.1 is the number. Russ is our yellow beacon. It's a 5k lead. It's 4 laps of 9 kilometres. This should take us around some of the best bits of Scotland, of Glasgow. A fantastic event up there with so many different disciplines taking place within Glasgow, or should I say within Scotland, really. So we will head across. Let's dive in with the riders. I think they are already on their way out of town and heading out on the ride. So let's go join the riders on the Donny Chaingang. So riding in with Russ Downing at the moment. Russ is our leader and taking us out from the ride at the moment. So at the moment he's taking it on the way through. So Russ leading the gang out, the gang making its way through. We're going to head in towards the roundabout now. Remember, it's a 5 kilometre run in. If you've not watched the Chain Gang before, it is really simple how the Chain Gang works. I promise you. Essentially, the key here is ride around Yellow Beacon. Ride around the Yellow Beacon. Ride around the Yellow Beacon. Until the point when Russ says 3 magic words. They're both all the same word. And that word is go. And he's going to say it 3 times. And when that happens, that is the point at which you can do what you want. Until that point, the aim is to stay with the group. Don't wind it up. Get off the front. You know the rules. You've all done this. Follow the yellow beacon. Follow the yellow brick road. It's really straightforward. And then we keep the gang together. So remember, guys, dive in, jump on board. There we go. So, evening gang, watch out for the Loch Ness Monster, says Mr. Garford. He should know. A man from the Royal Navy who knows all about getting his feet wet, let's face it. And the gang up and riding. Now, really important that our riders stay together as they make their way through Scotland and round to the start point. The aim here is to steadily ramp up the pace. And then the gang are working well at the moment. Looks like they're nearly all together. We have got 1 or 2 riders just maybe a little bit distanced off the back of this group. We're going to take a little bit of a run towards the back of the group. It looks like Samuel Taylor and Phil Oliver chasing, as is Mr. Lowe here. So Looks like Tom Lowe just making his way along. He's got a little bit of catching up to do with 40 seconds. I would suggest that unless he's feeling exceptionally strong, I'd be doing a jump out and a jump back in again to get back in with the group. Looks like Tsuki Noxenham just hovering around the back of this group, just making sure that there's a little bit of a chain for people to get on. Remember, you've got late join on, so if in doubt, drop out, jump back in again. It makes life easier. We know some people just struggling to get in to that 6 o'clock cut-off, but whatever time we did, there's always going to be somebody who only could just make it. Everybody does want to be on board. Now, quick thing to remind everybody, please, guys, make sure that you follow the message board that Russ is picking up there, really important. So the gang going through, you can just see, certainly picking up the pace at the moment. And the gang just trying to hold everything together low at the moment. Coming like an express train. He's got his work cut out though. He's got Jones as well for company. Jones on his way, absolutely flying. So it looks like the gang are running well, pretty much all together, just making their way in through the roundabout at the moment. They're going to head up towards Breakaway Bray pretty quickly. You can see from the pack at the moment, certainly moving pretty fast. Russ just tucked on to the front here. So Russ just taking the gang along at the moment. We've got quite a few rudders just steadily making their way on the back. Russ just saying, right, really simple guys, hold with me as we go up here. Now the chain gang, of course, set up to keep everybody together all the way through COVID. Very pertinent, given the inquiry into what worked right and what worked wrong, and people's behaviours within it. So having a look, Claire Richardson, are you on a T2 schedule 3 in a row? I think Claire raced on Tuesday night actually, which may well be the case. The team here, Lowe and Jones, working hard to get back on at the moment. These two riders have closed down a lot of ground. They're only in about 9 seconds off the back of the group here. So absolutely motoring the way through as they come in through the old ruins here. So they're going to do a bit of workout to get in with the main gang. So Claire was going to run tonight, but the monsoon is here. Yeah, it's monsoon across a lot of places. And Claire, if it's a monsoon for you, it's a monsoon probably going to be hitting us a little bit after from where you are. The riders on the way in. Monsoon in Mansfield too, it is indeed. It's definitely pretty grim out there at the moment. Keith Richardson, Simon Oxenham just holding the gang, making sure to get everybody back together. Simon doing his usual duties at the back. I'll tell you something. One of those riders doesn't need to say much, lets his legs do the talking, but Simon Oxenham, one of our regular riders at the back of the gang, picking up riders, acting as a breadcrumb to get people back in. Really, really important. So the sun out on Zwift, take our way past, and the banner that you can see just coming up on the top right hand side of the screen, that is the satellite navigation view. That is the finishing line. We will have 4 laps to go when we get to Breakaway Bray this time round. We're on the 600 metres in towards it now. So it's a 600 metre run from the indicator that's at the side of the left-hand side of the road until we hit the line. And at the moment, the group holding together as they come around this left-hand turn. It's a sweeping left-hand turn here. As you can see, this bunch pretty much all together. And then they take the sweeping left. It tightens as you go over the side of the embankment wall. And then it's a sweep of a right, and then again. And you can see just tightening round in towards the actual Breakaway Bray itself. Bray with those outer walls, a really easy place to spot as you're coming in. The archway, the king or queen of the mountains, basically the Breakaway polka dot banner, going to be coming up for our riders. So we're going to run in, and it is indeed, as Vinny's saying, an uphill finish. It's a pretty tough finish. It's not a pure sprinters finish, but it's not a pure hill climbers finish. It's a real mix. Now we're in with Simon, who's tucked nicely in towards the rear of that bunch as they make their way up the climb here. And as you can see, we're going to go underneath the 2023 Cycling Esports World Championship finish line. And that is here. So the road's going in underneath it. That is our finishing line. There's going to be four laps to go. So Russ just saying he's just got dropped on the way through. Not sure how Russ has managed to get himself dropped on the way up the climb. Because we've got Tom Elliott back in with him as well. So as we go up over the top, in through the stance here, we're going to head back down and away from the Breakaway Bray. Just in with Hutch at the moment. A very long, thin line of riders heading down on the descent. It's good to see Andrew McCarthy on the bunch. We were talking about Gritty earlier on. One of our riders who has already taken a prize in the giveaways. And Mr. McCarthy taking a prize. So the gang rolling its way into the T-junction. Going to take the right-hand turn. So Nessie out to the left-hand side of our screens. Thomas Donny's off the pedals. He has been. I've just been watching the power, hence the slight pause. Tom's actually been off the power for quite a while. He was rolling at 1.1, 1.2 watts per kilo. In fact, he was rolling at 0 watts per kilo. Freewheeling for quite a while. See if you're in a bucket or 0.1, 0.7. And this is a draft taking its effect. That's how it works. Mr. Lowe, it is not Tom Mazzoni. He was not up there. He was not on the front. The advantage of being in the commentary box means I can get to check where everybody is and what they're doing on all of our different avatars. That's why we have more than one on there. As you want some competition for the most annoying Tom. Oof, there's already enough Toms already. It's already started. So remember, folks, don't get personal. Keep it positive. That's what the Chaingang's for. All riders who have registered, have been made aware that they need to keep it positive. You got on the ride. Tom only thinks there's 4 Toms on today. Mr. Wimble, don't wait, power's gone out. I'm presuming that's power in the house, Rob, rather than in the legs. I hope it's power in the house, to be honest. Rather than the legs. The gang looking good. This really is blowing up. As in the house. Thank you very much, Rob. Always good to have that clarified. When your power goes out, personally, that's not very good. Okay. So here we go. Sam Emsley took to the right hand side. Rob James left hand side. The pack just started to come back together again. 1 or 2 people at the back just going to be closing up. Key is to stay off the front. What you'll find is the fast riders stay off the front. It's just no point. Go on the front. All you're doing is burning energy. You're using energy that you don't need to use. Mr. Oxenham knows it inside out. So does Mr. Run It. So does Russ Downey, oddly enough. The riders at the back here all doing that now. Good to have Miss Cookie in with us. So I'm hoping that you're going to behave yourself, Miss Cookie. Miss Cookie on the fast bike tonight. And this group just making their way back in. Miss Cookie, behave under orders on a recovery at the moment. And good to see Miss Cookie having a ride around, having a chat. Nice moves there. And going to be onto the back of this group. There we go. So, group coming back together again. Nicely done. Good riding, getting the pace together. And that group, as you can see, has come down past the waterfalls at the moment. Well, the group coming in together. So for those of you watching, you can see that Russ is now Russ Downing Fuel. Fuel is the new rocket subscription that has been, it's a business subscription that's been pre-launched today. You need to go on to Russ's feed to get the full details on there. So jump on Instagram and give Russ a follow. Really important to do that. So it is Russ Downing, all one word, Russ Downing. And you will get hold of, basically it's the Rocket team, the espresso machines from Milan. Plus the fuel, a match made in coffee heaven is the strapline. And if you want to know more, then don't forget, you go to get your invite to a better coffee at your house, and go to fuelclub.cc. Make sure you give Russ a follow on the old social media. You can also pick them up, of course, on the Donny Chaingang on Instagram as well. If you're not on Instagram and you're on Facebook, give Russ a follow on there. You'll be able to get hold of him there as well, and lots of cross-pollination of posts. There you go. So, helicopters just up over the top, just giving us a good view of the scenery here in Scotland. Looking good at the moment. So Wayne Barr just off the back, keeping out of the way, doing some warming up at the back. Mr. Barr, an absolutely superb example being set. So Wayne dropping off the back, keeping his way at the back, doing the work at the back, then making his way back on to the group, dropping off the back, which is the way to do it. That's exactly what we are after. So doing the business out of the back rather than trying to rip the gang up on the front. Thank you very much, Wayne. And thanks for communicating. That's one of the real key things on the chain gang, making sure that you pass the word about if you're going to go off the back, and we're going to work in. So here we go. Another recovery ride for Mr. Drabble, potentially. So here we are, nice riding by the group, all nice and compact as they make their way up the slopes. Just watching Chris Ball, good to see Chris on the bike as well. I'm hoping all the snow's gone where you are, not far down the road actually from where we are. So John Alexander just turned the fan on, people's just starting to warm up a little bit. So as you can see, just riders just making sure that they let people know what they're up to. A little bit of roll off the front, just putting the fan on. Mr. Lenley, when's your first race of the season? It'll be there, that'll be very interesting. Let's have a little bit of a check. So here we go, going up onto the top, just starting to see a little bit of a stretch. Chris Ball now all clear. Now, Matt, is it good to be back in Blighty? Do you really want me to answer that, Chris? Do you really want me to answer that? I said no negative vibes on the Chaingang. I tell you something, it's nice to see the family. I'll leave it at that. For everything else, see previous weeks. Hey, no, without swearing. Something like that. Not going to be negative about it. Such great things. Did I bring a boat with me? No, I didn't, but I could have done with one. Had to go into, we have actually have one of the studios here sits over the top of an old car inspection pit, which has its own pump. That pump has been on the go non-stop apparently for basically since we were disappeared off to France. So we were in there. So I did bring a boat, probably could have done with one. Slightly, it's a little bit damp, but you know what? Bit of rain. Keep it interesting. Gets lots of people back in here. It's grim here, says Mr. Elliott. Quite agree. Who likes this course? I like this course. It's nice to have a change of scenery, I have to say. Yeah, lots of people saying it is pretty much their favourite, and I don't blame them. It's a great course. It's hard to hold together in some ways, but the gradient, none of the gradients are absolutely smashing it apart gradients. They don't really break it apart. And that, for me, is really good. So even when we're going to come in here, it's a bit of a tricky bit where we come up and through the spiral run into the fort. So we come around, we go through the gatehouse, we go spinning up round to the right hand turn and then round. So into that right hand turn. Wayne Barr saying he wishes it was this straight. For those that don't know, Wayne is a Scottish resident. So Wayne knows exactly whether it's like this or not. I think he's a little bit further up the road than I am at the moment. Down topless. As somebody of a fatty, it sucks. I have to say, if you are a bigger rider, you have to really get the momentum roll right. So on the downhills, what you want to be doing is just as you come into the dip, so you go downhill, you want to be on the back of the group, basically, getting as much draft from it. And then as you come through the dip at the bottom, if you're a bigger rider, let that momentum carry you towards the front of the group and save and conserve that energy. So basically, you're trying to time it so that you end up going from the back of the group towards the front of the group as you go through the dip. If you are a lightweight rider, conversely, it pays to do the opposite. So you want to be on the front, basically, or when you are on the uphill sections, and you want to roll over the top, and as you go over the top, you want to be aiming to get towards the back and get tucked in to the back. The aim here is to not use too much energy, so use your momentum. So really is key here. Use your momentum. Do not sit on the front on a downhill if you are 100 kilos. It really is not going to help anybody else. You want to be sitting at the back if you are a climber. If you sit on the back actually on the climb, and then you just pull it up as you go through, it lets the big guys on the way through. But if in doubt, I would suggest stay with yellow. It's your safest option. So, bit of a break, bit of a gap starting to open over the top of the climb and then into the descent. And the roller coaster starting to take their toll. Looks like Thomas only just helping out at the back here, trying to give a wheel to Miss Cookie. I think Miss Cookie it could well be in trouble because under orders to stay sub 2 watts per kilo. And that's not going to get back on. It's not going to aid getting back on at the moment. Keith Richardson and Simon Runnick, Kai Davison. Good to see Kai back on. Kai, saw you've been out on the motorbike as well. Really good to see. So Kai Davis on his way through, just going past Tom Lindley. Tom in the Lamprey inspired pink and blue kit that he races in. Keith Richardson in the orange and black. Keith, one of the crew, helping make the Tuesday night ride to work. So really one of our key riders, really important. If you are riding on the Tuesdays, please do get in touch with the guys. They do need help with the beacons. So basically, if you want to be a yellow or a red beacon, guys, if you can, do give them a shout and jump on board. You can do that on the club chat page if you're a member, or of course you can do that on the Facebook page. So here we go, on the way through. This is going to be one lap down. Where's Mr. Nunn? 3 laps to go, 1 lap done. Oh, so Miss Cookie's saying, yep, done the riding with the group. Now we're going to work our way around the course. So Miss Cookie saying, job done. Keith Richardson's going to start picking this up with Simon Oxenham. Miss Cookie under orders to behave. There you go. Miss Cookie's done twice as much as she had planned. Stick with the plan, stick with the coaches. Okay. So here we go. Here's the chase back. This is Keith Richardson. Look at that, a massive sprint, 10 watts per kilo, going over the top. Simon Oxenham's going to pick this up. So they've been back, shepherding at the back. They're now on the move. They're on the way, on the chase of the group. Let's see how they're going to roll on the way down. When will they make contact with the back? And it is a when rather than an if, with Simon Oxenham and Keith Richardson doing the shepherding at the back. Now, on the run in, they're going to take the left-hand turn as they come down. It's going to be super tight. So taking a left turn. Here we go. Right over the bridge to go. Now, how far away is that beacon? He's through the zigzag. Looks like Wayne Barr also helping out, just dropping back to give him a little bit of a help here. So this is going to be Keith. It's Keith Richardson, Simon Oxenham, Wayne Barr going for a bit of a mission. So 1, 2. Now, where's Wayne? Wayne was the rider who dropped a little bit further back to help these two get back on again. At the moment, they're motoring away. They came absolutely rocketing past. It looks like the next man to get to give him a hand is going to be Pete Drabble. Drabble just at the back, waiting to pick up and give a bit of assistance. I am loving the breadcrumbs out the back. I agree, Vin Donahoe, just with that. Vin just saying the breadcrumbs are out the back to pick the riders up. They are absolutely flying on the way in at the back of this group. Keith Richardson, look how fast he got back on. That is cooperation. That is how the group is working. If you're a strong rider, go off the back. Give a hand to those riders getting back on again. They're going to come absolutely flying. Brilliant to see. Well done. Very, very nicely done. So here we go. They're just dropping towards the back of the pack. The group all pretty much together, to be brutally honest. There's not a lot covering the riders. If we put the helicopter up, you can see it's pretty much one pack here. As they've all got back together again, just watching Russ at the moment near the back of that pack. And the back just holding up the group here. Some riders choose to lead at the front, some lead from the rear, some lead in the middle. Lots of people bounce up and down. No, Vin, you don't want me singing anything at the moment. Got a bit of a sore throat, to be brutally honest. Could be worse than singing Happy Birthday. Every time I play the Muppet tune, you do realise we get banned off Facebook, YouTube, every streaming platform going. Because it's copyrighted. Not allowed to play it. I can sing it, but I can't play it. Mostly because if I sing it, none of the algorithms actually recognise it. Have more chili, yes. Yesterday's WoW coverage was was powered by extra hot cayenne pepper in a particularly hot casserole. It's more like a curry than a casserole. Can't blame my cooking either. It was at least edible. Today, not powered by the same. Today was if it's possible to put it in a salad, it was in there. Uber healthy. A bit like a Heinz 57. It's like pretty much anything you think of was in this salad. There you go. Apparently it sounded okay. Yeah, that is all to do with the Lemsip Maxes times lots of chili and it's about 6 coffees, a couple of Coke and a few other bits and pieces, mate. And a lot of practice. It takes a lot to impact these. Although if you watch... So we do a 2 esports shows on Sunday morning. You have to follow our feeds for that. But we do 2 esports shows on Sunday morning. So that works out at 3 hours of live in the morning. Then I did the women's cyclocross for the UCI and then the men's cyclocross for the UCI. There is a substantial difference in voice on Sunday after doing what was nearly 6-7 hours of constant talking on the shows. It did make a difference. So there were a few people saying, "Is that you?" On the shows. The answer was yes, it is, but it was did sound a little bit weird because there was commentating on there. So there we go. Now the riders on the way. Any more ducks? No, they might be coming up soon, but I'm not going to have to worry about them. They're going to be snow geese on the course for Anthony. Anthony's back on the UCI coverage. Goes out worldwide. It's quite funny, really, because what always makes me laugh is that when you watch the UK, the comments and the coverage here is all about, of course, the UK coverage. Because we're going out worldwide, the pitch of the commentary that we do for the UCI is different. So we're aiming for quite a lot of people whose second language is English rather than first. So a bit like people from the Isle of Man, really. So basically, it is really about talking, making it clear, making it very precise and accurate. Not being too quick with the commentary so that people can't digest it, understand it and translate it. So it is definitely a different commentary style on there. But of course it goes out round a lot of different places. In fact, the view numbers are absolutely huge worldwide. Everybody apart from, if put everywhere apart from the UK, basically. So it's really interesting. Drabble he is good, that lad. Mr. Drabble is indeed a very good rider. Nice to see we've got Henry Fuller on here, actually. We're just taking a look. Henry Fuller in here. We've got Mr. Drabble. I think it's Mr. Harper on board as well. Mr. Craggill. It's like Mr. William, Dale Williams, the one and only incomparable Dale Williams is in here. Looking good. Simon Warren. John Wilde is not here for second place. He's not. But he's got his work cut out when you've got somebody of the calibre of Pete Drabble as well. Don't forget, of course, a certain Mr. Hutchinson absolutely flew to a win, caught everybody napping on the flat section. I mean, nice to see that you've changed your age as well. Since you're now 13. But yeah, went off on the flat and they couldn't be nobody pulling back when it was flat. Aaron Cooley, can you win tonight? You think your mum's watching? My mum regularly watches this, and I never get to win, mate. So I don't think that's going to fly. Okay. Good to see Bobby Mason's on board. Bobby, I did get your message. I will give you a shout. We're playing catch up with a lot of work stuff. Partly because last week was a bit of a write-off. A massive thank you. I'm still getting messages about when the bike broke and hitting the floor with my head, putting a dent in the road, and just as importantly, bouncing my head down. Progress report is basically if it's above the middle of my ribs and between the base of my skull, it's pretty painful, particularly if I turn it or move it. Other than that, it's actually pretty good. All the black eyes gone, all the cuts are on the way, and everything else is healing up nicely. However, yes, there's some really interesting crunchy noises in my neck and in my back, between the middle of my ribs and the top, the base of my skull. So it does sound a bit like stirring Lego at the moment if I move those. So, yes, we had a bit of time off, doing a lot of work on the week before this. This week has been about getting back to the UK and getting all the kit back. We had a nice drive back up. Went past Bobby Mason's territory. Actually came down past a little bit of a drive out from Ashford through to Leeds Castle and actually past where my granddad used to live. On the way back up, having a 2-day journey back rather than a 1-day journey. But, you know, that's about par for the course. We have to just take it a little bit easier. Now, stirring Lego. Yes, that is. My shoulders are generally like stirring Lego, but my neck is definitely like that at the moment. Ooh. Don't you just hate it when messages disappear off underneath? Matt Russ, ever considered swapping roles for a ride? Yep. I actually ran the ride as Yellow Beacon before. Mr. Lindley, it does happen occasionally. Russ does commentate every now and then. You might find him giving an insight. Where's the finish for this? It was a French route. It was RGV, I think, if I remember correctly. Or was it Cass? It might even have been Cass Pats. I don't think I actually picked the route. Maybe I did. So we will see. Christmas to 100k for Matt on a Tuesday. You know. Not after having some time off the bike. Although the first thing I'm going to be on is going to be on a turbo trainer. I hate to say it. Much as I love talking about you lot on it. I'd much rather be out in the outdoors. However, needs must, and it's going to be a perfect situation not to end up breaking bits of me. At the moment, certainly can't afford to go bouncing down the road. Okay, in with the one and only legend that is Ruby James in with the Chaingang. Now, Ruby, our guest on the current episode of the Crosscast. Now, we are going to be recording a new episode next week, but you can download and hear what Ruby sounds like and hear her insights into the racing, into the cyclocross. Please do it. We absolutely love it. The numbers are up, which is brilliant. That's great. But we always want to get to more people, spread love of racing bikes and particularly the cyclocross. So please do go on. You can get it on Spotify, Google, Apple Music, wherever you get your music, your podcast. Jump on board, put in the Crosscast, the cyclocross podcast. Gritty man, the man from Gritty, that is Neil Mansfield, along with myself are the hosts. We have a regular co-host. Ruby James was our co-host for the last show. Ruby, of course, riding her very first UCI World Cup, as well as having an absolute flying season on the racing. Home in her team, the Hope Factory Racing team, and have to say, absolutely doing the business for Ruby, and seems I always say, and I do sound like a stuck record, that happy riders are fast riders, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Happy riders being fast riders, and Ruby James at the moment, he's very happy, and certainly he's going very fast indeed. Now, making our way around, remember, quick reminder, 5k leading, 9k lap, so going to be on the way round. We'll tell you when you get towards the finish. It is the archway that's coming up. The breakaway bray that you see on the screen is the lap banner. That means when you hit that lap banner, you have got 2 laps to go. Our official, unofficial, official, unofficial, official, unofficially official lap scorer, Matt Nunn. I don't think Matt is with us tonight. We'll see. Good to see you got a nice representation of riders. Richardson, Inslee, James, Dockers, Blackman, Booker and Cookie. Be interested to see how Joe Blackman goes. Now, Joe was missing in action on the WOW. And going to be interested to see how she goes on tonight. Definitely one of our fast riders. Could be a course that's going to suit Joe. Not sure how Claire Richardson's going to be going, because Claire was riding yesterday on there. So time to run in towards the banner. The finishing line is going to be in these archways. So when you're coming through these twists and turns, when you're coming up into here, underneath the archway, you can see the banner. That is your finishing line. So, Russ nicely in here. Spinning away. Talking about the Chaingang and the need to keep it positive. So we're going to focus on the riders who are doing the business here today. We leave those that aren't a little bit later on. 25% to level 61 already. Love it, says Mr. Donny. That is a lot of levels. Who's on the highest level, please, guys? Tell us how you're getting on. How far are you going in terms of levels? Who is on the highest level out of the Chaingang? I'd love to know. Vinny's on level 60, going 61. Tomlin is only 25% of the way to level 47. That's not bad going, though, for a youngster, I have to say. That's pretty good going. So 25.8k covered, 25.9 as we make our way in and through. Just watching Mick Hawkins tucked in here nicely. Mr. Joe's in on board as well. Craigle is in here. Higginbottom, Trenchard, Martin, Wallace, Mennel all tucked in. Alfie not in here. Good to see Alfie on board again. Another of our regulars. Looks like Rob James just starting to fill the pace because the current. Also doing the same as Cookie. Just took off the back. So these riders making the way in around there behind the back of the main group. Back of the main group. It is Mr. Mallon just holding the back nicely. It's, the pace just steadily picking up. People just starting to lose contact the longer you stay in. The easier it is in terms of draft, but you've got to be able to hold that pace. And that's something that builds up and builds up. That's why the Chaingang is such a success. So just seeing another rider just go distance off the back of the group. Just going to take a little bit of a run back to see who's out there. I think we've got Sam Taylor, Sonia Inslee. Inslee just at the back. Sam Taylor. Oh, sorry, it's Mally Taylor. Mally just off the back of this group. Rob James. Mr. Curran is also in that same position. Apologies for the odd silence. That is just a little bit of communication going on in the background on the way through. So Craigle just holding about the wheels, just about Inslee on the back of the group. Time to push Sonia. Really key here coming in. Jamie Harper of True North also holding round the back there. And there's them anyway around the right hand bend here. If we take a little bit of a zoom out, you can see where we are relative to the rest of the route. This figure of 8 course playing host to the Rolling Highlands, the Holding Rylands. That's a new one, Rolling Highlands. So Matt just a little distance now. Matt, you got a few people behind. You got Rob James and Co. Now we are at 47 minutes 42 in, so quite a long way in at the moment. John Garfoot tucked nicely in here. Chris is spare from the Rue Morgan. You can see Chris on the gang once again. Got Mr. Backhouse tucked in here. Everybody rolling along quite nicely. Lindley's in here. So they're getting a little bit nervy now as the time tickies on. Time tickies onwards. Shall I have some more coffee? Tell you what, let's keep an eye on the riders. I'm going to grab a coffee. And I hope I'm not going to have to shout 3 words whilst it happens. You never know, though. There's what's going on. Staying with Aaron Cooley because Aaron's absolutely flying in a minute. And if those 3 words are shouted, I've got a chance of staying with the group. And he's go, go, go. Oh, Russ. There goes the coffee. Let's go, 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 go time. Russ has said the 3 magic words. Timing it, bob on for the meeting, taking a mouthful of coffee in the commentary box. The commentary box is going to smell great after this one. Here we go, in with Steve Hilbert of the Sure Pines team. He's in the mix. Steve Wilson pushing him. Mick Hawkins on his way up, just watching the numbers. Tom Elliott is going to have to squeeze here. He wants to get in. Elliott at the moment making his way through in that SYN jersey. That's a white jersey. Goes up alongside Russ at the moment. This is all about getting into position. Hutchinson and Drabble already up at the front, but it looks to me like Hutchinson is not hanging around as Zach Hutchinson. This kid's got a phenomenal power to weight ratio. But remember, guys, get him on the downhills. He weighs nothing. Get him on the downhills. Make him work. Burn the kid out before he gets on an uphill section. It's the only way that you're going to beat him on the way through. Have fun on the way. Chasing down Zach Hutchinson, trying to do a repeat of the tactics from last week. Good riding by Zach. We're going to drop. There we go. Right on Zach. Looks like Elliott and co, though. Look at this bunch coming after him at the moment. Elliott's leading the charge pretty much as they come onto his wheel. And I think that is going to be... is that Ruby James right up in the mix? It is. So Ruby's tucked in here very nicely. So's Joe Blackburn from the Ionian squad. Claire Richardson in there. Knots in this group. Sharp in it. 80 Dench on his way back from injury. Nicely in here. 80 coming back into form. The group back together again. Here we go. Up on to the climb underneath the archway. This is a spiral turn here. Let's tell you something, it's a long way to go. Not to Tipperary, but to the finishing line. There's some proper power being laid down here as they come up over the top. Look at this group go. There's some serious kicks going in through here. Phil Howell absolutely right on the marker tonight. John Wild is in here. Tip for being up near the top, but that's a big ask when you have the likes of Lindley, when you have the likes of Drabble, when you have the likes of Ketteringham in here, all known winners. And it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be able to take this out. What group's going to form at the front? That's got to have split that group into little pieces. Indeed it has. So we have leading group at the front, just forming. Behind it's a long train of riders. Here you go, coming around the turn here just before we dive in the trees. Yellow Beacon group about 15 strong. There's about another 15 riders behind making the way up in towards it. However, there are some big gaps opening further back. Here we are. So just going to take a little run down. We're aiming to try and get into about 30th position is my plan. It's a bit tricky at the moment, but I'm thinking that not in 28th is the rider just off the back. So he's just sub 30 in with the group. Alfie, you've got to get on now, fella, because if you don't get on, you're going to have to wait for the group behind. That's Greg Pillsworth's group. This is the chasing group. So this is going to be further about 10 riders on the way up towards that leading group if they can make it. The chasing not at the moment. Knott's got them just behind. He can see the lead group just in front. This is going to be tough stuff. And interestingly, Aaron Cooley has missed the boat. One of the riders that was expected to be in the mix. He's not up there at the moment. Looks like Richardson, Donahoe as well have missed this. So as you come up into towards the line, Russ is going to be up with that leading group at the moment. It's one lap to go when they hit the line this time. One lap left to go. Has Russ fueled up enough? The new partnership between the Rocket Espresso. Can he put this out fast? Can he take it today? The bear's well and truly been poked today. Will he be the man who's going to take victory? Harsh is Russ going to ride? How sharp is he going to be on this? They've expended plenty of energy, having to control the ride. Wayne Bale on pretty much home turf. Certainly adopted turf. Took nicely in here for the Velo 44. Donny Chaingang ride looking good at the moment as he comes through in that leading group. So this is the group of riders on the descent in that main bunch. Again, seeing another push out of the front of this group as Hutchinson once again is really making them work for this. Nice to see Drabble being put up against it a little bit more here. So the pretender for Drabble's crown, Zach Hutchinson, on the move, being chased at the moment. Lindley in that chasing group, Oxenden in the chasing group, Drabble doing the chasing. That chasing group is going to become one pack, though, I think, as they come in and through. So they're going to make their way down here. Just going to keep a check on those riders now. Here they come through. They've done that little loop up and through. They're just going to go past Brett Dowtree, I think, who's just been caught on the way through. But at the moment, As you can see, these riders looking pretty good. 80 Dench up on the front, keeping it smooth. So Dench at the moment rolling in and along. Hutchinson is in there as well. Warren is in there. Now, Dench coming in and through. Dench is showing us number one now. Don't forget, now just running second place. Miss Cookie is going to be down on the way back down. Let's see how this rolls out. So Downing just comes rolling through to the front. He's not playing super strong at the moment. He's conserving the energy at the minute. He knows there's a full lap. Remember, each lap is 9 kilometers on this circuit, and that is going to make life very tough. So I'm just trying to take a look in this group. I think, yeah, Joe Blackburn is in here. So Joe nicely tucked in with this group of leaders at the moment. She's going to be the first female rider on the road at the moment. Just going to work our way back through. Looks interesting to see that Phil Holwell nicely tucked in here as well. He's not one to discount as we come in towards the finish. He's steadily working our way through Finley Hudson, another rider who could well be his day. This is a sort of course that it's rolling, it's tricky. The group behind, well, it looks to me like this is one group now. So Alfie Knott being caught. This is group number 2 on the road. So if you are in with Alfie Knott, with Ruby James, or with Aaron Cooley, with Trenchard, Wilson, Hawkins, Jones and co, with Elliott, this is group number 2 on the road. Group number 3 is going to be the Sunnycliffe, Alexander and Forbes trio. Group number 4, well, it's going to be Malin, it's going to be Bolton, it's going to be Richardson and Ball. It's going to be the group that contains Claire Richardson and Keith Richardson, not related as far as I know. Spale, Christopher from Spale. So this is group number 4. So 1 is Yellow Beacon Group, 2 is the group of chasers with Cutie, 3 is a trio of riders, 4 is the group that we're watching at the moment. So it's got Vin Donahoe in here as well. Just taking a look through, group 5 is going to be the Langmead group with Fiona Booker, with Berkey Cross in here. Then group 5, I think, is going to be Menel Forrester, potentially Mason and co. But if we take a run up the road to the leading group, this is the leading group. They're at 34.9k. We're in with Downing at the moment. At the moment, it's all looking a bit interesting. Do you think I might get whatever's left of this coffee that didn't go flying across the studio when Russ called the go, go, go? May well happen. Let's see. It's always dangerous. I mean, somebody's going to go and attack the moment I try and get coffee. Here we go. Let's try this. Well, I managed it, but that's only because there wasn't much coffee left, because most of it disappeared as the cup went flayed, as Russ called the go, go, go. So here we go, leading group. Now, this was 28 riders in this group. I still suspect there's 28 riders pretty much in this group. Now, it's saying 27 with Russ, but if anybody's chucked Ghost in, that drops those numbers through. Russ just holding the back of that group, 26, 27th at the minute. And it's group. They are the group who are leading Russ at the moment. I think just being smart here, sitting on the wheels now. Here we go. Just rolling back onto the wheels. How far through is he going? Is he timing it to go all the way through? Nope, quickly back off again here. So a quick kick by Russ there. Interesting tactic as they came up over that and into that little slope. Russ just kicking to get onto the wheels, but going no further. Easing right off. You can see the cadence. Yeah, got to learn from the master. He's on his way. He's not using too much energy. He's just sitting tucked into the tail of that slipstream of this group. He's going to be getting lots of squeeze. That group's going to be helping him along now. Just a little bit of another squeeze that moves his way up through the which he knows when they're going to come into towards the climb. Let's see how this is going to play out. Lindley's right in here. Who's on the front making the running at the moment? I think John was right up there, but it's Hutchinson again doing the work. So Hutchinson, they're letting him burn himself out here potentially. 2 youngsters on the front as Hudson comes up as well. I tell you something, These are the youngsters who are on here. Hudson's coming through at nearly 7.5 watts per kilo. It's been answered here. It's 2%, now 3% gradient. This is starting to hot up. Drabble has moved on to the wheels as well. Drabble is very aware of these two now. There's going to be no freebies. There's going to be letting nobody off the leash here today. We're not going to see a London scenario, I don't think, because Drabble is not going to let them go. Hutchinson caught them all napping. They're too busy looking at each other to go after him in London. That's not going to be the case here. They're sharper, they're quicker. Move now from Ketteringham. Nice move here. Mark Ketteringham goes over the top here. He started to put a kick in. He's going to provoke a reaction from Drabble. He has. Hutchinson also, Oxenham, Hudson, Muncaster, Taylor. They're all on the power now. Holwell maybe a little bit late to the party. 10.2 watts per kilo just coming out. This is going to be very interesting. Now, leading group, Hutchinson, Ketteringham, Drabble. Not one of them old enough to shave pretty much. Certainly that's what it feels like when you're an old gimmer. 3 youngsters being chased by 4th youngster. That's going to be Hudson immediately behind. Then, doing it for the old fellas. Come on, Mr. Wild. John Wild is not a youngster. In fact, John just literally hasn't shaved. So as we go through, John with the trademark beard looking good. Tucked in with the front of this group. He's not going to come here for a second place. And John Wild from Velo Viewer, one of the keen supporters of the Chaingangs over the years, did an amazing job. Don't forget, jump on board with Velo Viewer. Subscription costs you basically next to nothing. Think of it as 2 service station coffees. But for that, you're going to get loads of data and information and lots of previews of the courses. Now, lots of really key data used by the pro teams, used by the professional racers, used by the commentary teams, including myself. It is absolutely key, so do make sure you jump on board. Now, 3 riders away. Zach Hutchinson, winner from last week. Pete Drabble, winner of many weeks. Mark Ketteringham. Mark, I'm not sure, has he taken a win? 8 seconds is the gap. Anybody wanting this? Can't let these 3 go. If it goes uphill, they are all super lightweight and they're going to give you a kick in. It's really that straightforward, guys, because they're incredibly light. They don't weigh anything. Got to get them back quick. Now, on this rundown, the advantage is with the bunch. The group here, sit in that draft, use the draft, but use it together to pick the pace up, to pick up the speed. 63 kph coming in. That gap, though, still hovering. 9 seconds here. There are 3 riders together. Now, little bit of a rest there from Hutchinson on his way down. Really smart move. That below his age, just easing off on the pedals. Now, big kick from Ketteringham. He really wants this, doesn't he? He's not afraid of Drabble. He's not afraid of Hutchinson. He's gone for the kick again. I tell you something, he's opened up a gap, and Drabble has had to go to 13 watts per kilo in pursuit. They might have snapped Hutchinson here. He's at 8 watts per kilo. I tell you, I'd like to go snap at 8 watts per kilo. I'd like to hit 8 watts per kilo on the way through. He's holding that pace. And I tell you something, that gap is not opening up that much. It looked like it was going to be a bigger expansion. But Drabble, Ketteringham together at the moment. There is 3 seconds back to Hutchinson, who is on his way here. And it's only 5 seconds back from the front to the back to Holwell. Holwell is on his way. Hutchinson sandwiched in between. I think he's going to make contact. Now, Holwell, Wild and Co. cannot let them get into that final ascent in up towards the breakaway Bray together. If they do that, they are going to pay the price. I guarantee it, because those 3 are light. They have the advantage on the ascent. Going to be really key here. It's very quick. It is very, very quick. It's 3 seconds, I think, the gap now as they come through. This is going to potentially come together just at the base of the climb. This is going to be about who has got the power. Has anybody got a feather? Good call there by Simon Runner. If you've got a feather on this climb, it's going to be good. Russ putting out the customary, I'm not going to go for this. I'm not going well. I'm hanging in. Watch him come up to the front as we hit this climb. He's not going to let him get away with this. On the way, here we go, breakaway Bray. 600 metres to go. Hutchinson leading this out. 600 metres. 2 seconds to Drabble. 3 to Ketteringham. 5 to the bunch. What's he going to do? Time is running out, though, for the riders. They're about to come around this turn. They're about a third of the distance complete in. The kicker's got to come, and you've got to put it down now, guys, because you are going to lose out to who is coming. Well, the man nearest, it is going to be Drabble. Drabble goes over the top. Drabble takes the race lead at the moment. We've seen a kick behind. This is going to be about the run for the lane. Now, Kai Davis, a rider who I've had the pleasure of commentating on the cross. Can he hold off Drabble? Drabble is a past master at this. It's a mano sprint, but it's going to be Drabble. Pete Drabble, he edges it. He takes the win. On the Donny Chaingang, it's Drabble from Davis, from Hudson, Kettingham, Hutchinson. Nathan from Velobat's absolutely flying. John Wild in the mix as well. Phil Holwell. Simon Oxenham, they're absolutely flying. Russ is about to hit the line. What a fantastic run for the line there. Great ride, a great lead by Russ. Thank you very much, Russ. That was some finish. Simon Warren coming through. We're just going to take a little bit of a run back down the slope here to try and pick up the riders as they come in now. Phil Oliver, I think, is going to be our next rider coming in to the line. That was a blistering finish on the Chaingang here on the Donny Chaingang. Oliver comes in through. Williams is going to follow him in. He's going to be just inside the top 25. Pete Drabble currently, I think, is in bits somewhere. We've got Hutch just going through with Pearson. I am absolutely loving the fact that all the top three riders are saying well done to everybody else. They've just been sprinting in an absolute phenomenal finish. Well, the way to go quicker is to ride with riders that are faster than yourself. That is absolutely critical if you want to go fast. Now, first of our female riders coming through, Ruby James comes in and through the line, 34th for Ruby. As they make the way up here, I think Andy Driver in through the line as well. That means Vin Donahoe is going to be leading out this group. So Vin now sprinting his way up towards the line. One of the key people when it comes to the Tuesdays, really critical that you give those guys your spot. If you are riding on Tuesday, please get in touch with them. Tell them what days. You may find rides without a leader if you don't volunteer. It's that straightforward. Now, Tunnicliffe, Alexander Richardson coming through after all that work being done by Keith Richardson and co at the back early on. So Simon Runnings coming through, Neil Tukey, Bolton. Claire Richardson's going to be our second fastest female coming through the line. I think Doc, who's on his way, Sam Emsley through, Chris Ball, Dixon Mull on his way in and through. He's done the business. It's going to be John Woodbridge, the next rider. It's really tricky actually to get everybody because everybody's coming through in little groups, which is fantastic to see. So John Woodbridge on his way through. Well done, buddy. He comes in. It's going to be followed by Backhouse. It's then going to be a Whitehead. Fiona Booker, I think Fiona Booker is going to be. Faye Booker comes through. I think this will be third of our female riders in. Don't quote me on that because very tricky to keep a check on this course. That is absolutely frantic. Now, key here, make sure you spin your legs out as you go through. Berkecross going through, Rossini going through, Steve Hilbert, good ride by Steve again. I'll tell you something, Steve Hilbert regularly on the gang does a fantastic job, and a member, of course, of the DCG gang. And if you want all the links direct for December, if you want to go jump on board on a Tuesday night, if you want to ride a Tuesday, you need to be a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Please do consider doing that, even if it's just for December. Don't forget that there is 30% off all OTE, 30% off Goodyear tyres, 30% off the tyres at Cambrian tyres. We've got 20% off Gritty. We've got 10% off Halo. We've got discounts from 1080. Really important, guys. Make sure that you support the people who support your sport. Bobby Mason, our next rider into the line. He's coming through just ahead of John Garfer. Then it is going to be Darren Topless on his way through. So Darren making his way in and up to the line. So Topless going to be our next rider coming through. Good ride for Darren. It's going to be Darren Topless and it's going to be Bailey, followed by Fuller. followed by Mr. Johnson. So Carl Johnson on his way up to the line, doing a great job here. Heading up towards the breakaway Bray. I think he's got Sonia Inslee behind. We have to be a little bit careful here with the numbers because this is a really tricky course with all the twists and turns, and because it is like a series of figure of eights. It's like basically an 8 with a loop chucked on it. It does make things interesting when we're trying to keep track on all of our riders. So Johnson, next rider in and through the line. Good riding by Carl. Just ahead here of the rider coming in. It's the Bolsover District Cycling Club, Sonia Inslee, making her way in and through to the line. Well done, Sonia. So Sonia just coming on the way up to the line here. Well done, Sonia. So Sonia comes in and through. We're going to work our way, I think, back through some of our riders. If we can work out who's next in. Always entertaining on this course. Trying to work out who's where and when. I suspect, and don't quote me on this, that our next rider on the course is going to be Malcolm Taylor. And then it's going to be Rob James, I think. So we're going to have a little look. So Malcolm Taylor, where's Malcolm? Yeah, heading around the turns at the moment. So Mike Taylor on his way around these twists. He's basically going to drop down. He's going to take a right-hand turn, take a left and go up on to the sweeping ascent. He's going to be our next rider on his way into the line. So while Malcolm's on his way, let's do a little bit of catch-up for you. So quick reminder, guys, don't forget, tonight we were on the Rolling Highlands. It's been a cracking course. Absolutely love it. Please, please, please do make sure you jump on board. It's only possible because of our fantastic commercial supporters who look after our members of the DCG gang, the Supporters Club. They're just there. Really key, please, guys. Give them your support. To Gritty, to Halo Wheels, to OTE, to Goodyear Tyres, Nonna's Restaurant, as well as 1080 in the Oakley squad. It's all brought to you by Downing, cycling by Russ Downing and myself, Matt Payne from Full Speed Events. Tuesday's Donny Chaingang is for members only. Thursday opened to registered riders. And it's how we get rid of spam bots, ne'er-do-wells, and people who can't follow the rules. Might be a subtle hint in that. Let's see who's back with us next week. Meanwhile, let's go back to this week. It is going to be Mr. Taylor on his way on the climb. Doing a great job here on his way around those twists and turns. Just dropping down alongside here as he comes into this left-hand turn. So Taylor, the next rider to make his way up towards the finish here on the Donny Chaingang. Don't forget, you can jump on board. You do need to register for the Thursdays, and that is how we make sure that the ride runs to plan, and that we make sure that we keep it working as it should. So you do need to register. If you register, you need to register 25 hours to 1 hour in front. You can be a member of the DCG gang. Do reserve the right, of course, even if you do donate to the DCG gang and refuse your membership. We have had to do that to one person over the course of what is now nearly 4 years. We did 2 years without a break consistently. Then we have done one winter season. This is our which was number 3. This is season number 4 this season on the run through, and this is going to take us through to the end of March. So please do make sure you join us on the way through. We've got lots of more great rides, lots of great routes put in by us. The December routes, well, all the members will have those on their emails. We're going to be heading and sending them out the discount codes from OTE, as well as the rest of our commercial supporters. I say that's to be heading Malcolm Taylor's way, member of the Donny Chaingang, And he's in and through. Great ride by Malcolm, makes his way in and over the line. And Malcolm going to be getting those discount codes, heading in and on through. And that means that Mr. James is going to be our next rider. He's now through the spiral turn. He's going to drop down, take the right turn, the left turn, and then that'll take him up to the breakaway break. So James, the rider who's making his way in on the Donny Chaingang here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel with myself, Matt Payne. Do make sure you give us a follow. It's at Matt Fixer Payne on Instagram, on Facebook, on Strava, on pretty much everything. I think I managed to consistently get it because, let's face it, who else is going to have a name like that? Don't forget you can follow Russ. It is Russ Downing on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget, of course, you can follow Downing Cycling at Downing Cycling and at Full Speed Events for what we're up to. Wherever we are out and commentating, that is Full Speed Events. So that is Emma at Biking Emma and myself at Matt Fixer Payne. We got a busy weekend. 2 shows rather than 4 this coming weekend, but quite a lot on as well. Going to be trying to keep up with all of the action at Val di Sole for the Cyclocross World Cup, ready for recording the next episode of the Crosscast. So if you haven't listened to the current one, please do download it, give it a listen. Our rider tonight on the Chaingang, Ruby James, the rider who was our guest on Ruby, coming through to take what was second female rider in over the line. Now, just watching Mr. James make his way around. He's going to take this left-hand turn as Taylor goes right, and that means that Rob James is now on his run in towards the line. 600 metres to go as he hits this marker. The gradient overall averages out at 2% on the run in towards the finish. As you can see, he's going to climb away from the shoreline. He's going to move his way around these turns and then make his way up in towards the breakaway brae for the finish line, after which it's going to be about then making sure that he gets those legs spun out before he heads off, out and away. So James on the run towards the line. He's going to come around this right-hand turn here. And if he looks across to his right, he'll see the edge of the walls of the archways that are going to welcome him on board. The Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights up above the sky. It's actually visible from down here at the sides of Sheffield recently in the upper atmosphere. And real changes in climate going on to be able to see that's something you don't often see, but pretty common at the moment this winter. And that now glowing up above the finishing line, you can see that banner coming in. It is the banner for the 2020 UCI World Championship finish, and it is going to be James who's going to come in through underneath the line here. For the finish line at the breakaway brae. Well done to Mr. James. Time to spin those legs down. So as Mr. James makes his way down, it just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Make sure you jump on the Chaingang. I'll be back on the mic on Sunday. You need to follow me down there if you want to know where I'm going to be. We're not going to publicise it on here for obvious reasons, but you know where we're going to be. So please do join us. Make sure you join Russ from Downing Cycling, but from myself, Matt Payne, from Russ, from everybody in the gang, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.